Hi there, this is the second part of a series of videos where I go through the creation of a simple file sharing application for Windows. I'm building the application up in parts to make it easy to test as I go along. So in this part I'm going to create two test applications to copy a file from one PC, which is going to be the sender, to another TCP, which is the receiver, using TCP. So without further ado, let's get started. What I want to do is I want to be able to send two files between these computers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own protocol, and the protocol is going to be very simple. It's just going to be very similar to HTTP. It's going to have well, let's define it. So what I want to do is I want to call this sender. So I'm going to have a new class. And then let's just call this send file, and then we're going to add that. Let's call it transfer file. Transfer file manager. Well, no, we're going to have a file manager for there. We'll call it transfer file blah. That'll do. And this is going to transfer a file between one place and between your local machine and a client. So I'm going to say I need to have a destination, and I need to have a port. So I'm going to say public transfer file, and that transfer file is going to be a host name. And that's really all I need apart from string file name. So I'm going to say host name equals host name, file name equals file name. Generate read-only field, generate read-only field. And then we want to have like a start transfer. Actually, we just need a start, don't we? And we want to create a client host that we want to send across, and then we want to send that information. So we're going to do let's have private TCP client client, and I'm going to say client equals new TCP client, and then we're going to pass in, what are we going to pass in? We need the host name and the port. So we know the port number, host name, but maybe we can sort of specify it here as well. So we got, well, we want to send the file name, the host name, and then int port equals 54,000. So we get that there. Int port. So we need to remember that. So because we want to, so we're not necessarily going to be changing it from 54,000, but we could configure it to be something else. But that means that everything has to change. So if you're on this network and you want to receive a file, then you're going to have to change it to the known port. So in this case, we're changing it to 54,000. 54,000 might not work for you as the default port, so we need to change it in a config, which we'll get to. So we got a client here. We want to say client.connect. And then we specify the host name and port there. Okay, so host name, port. Okay, so we don't need that there, and then we want to do client.send get stream send. Where is it? Right, async, and then we want the buffer, the offset, and the count. Okay. Client get stream. I don't know if I want write. Begin write, that's what I want. Begin write. Okay, begin write, and then I want the buffer, the offset, the size, and the callback. So I'm going to call this buffer. Offset is 0. File size, and then the callback is going to be write result, and then the state is going to be the client. So where am I getting the buffer from? Well, the buffer's from the file name. So actually, I actually want that to be something else. So what if I wrote it out to a memory stream? Okay, let me try this. ms equals new memory stream. ms dot write string. What do I want to write? I want to write a buffer. Let me do write header. So I'm going to create a function here called write header, and write header is going to take in the memory stream. It's going to take in the file name. It's also going to take in. That's it. It's just going to be that. So then I'm going to do private void write header. Actually, I'm going to do var buffer equals that. Create buffer. I'm writing this on the fly, so it might not be perfect. And we need our memory stream in there. And we also need the file name, which we've got in there anyway, so we don't really need that. And that's going to return back a array of bytes. Well, in that case, do I need the memory stream in there? Probably not. Let's have this here. I think I'm just moving these things around, sorry. So we create buffer there. So memory stream is that. And then I want to be able to write to the memory stream. So I want to say private void write string memory stream string s. And then I want to say var bytes equals encoding dot ASCII dot get bytes s, and then I'm going to do ms dot write bytes. Offset is 0. Offset in the buffer to begin copying, okay, and then the count is going to be bytes dot length. Okay, and that's that. So I want to do create buffer. This is going to be return ms dot to array. Boom. Let's have using var byte buffer equals null. Return buffer. Buffer equals ms dot to array. Oh, there you go. Returns the array of unsigned bytes from which the stream was created. Okay, so what's the difference between that and to array then? writes the stream contents to a byte array regardless of memory stream position property. Okay, maybe we just need that. Right, well, let's see if that works. So we get the byte in there, and then we want to write out the header. Okay, so the header is going to be write string ms, and then it's going to be the file name, but just the file name. So it's going to be path dot get file name, so it's just the name of the file, plus that, so that's going to give us that. We now want to have the size of it as well. Okay, so we want to write that in the next line because we want to have something like myfile.txt, and then the size of it, which is going to be 673 bytes. Okay, and then we do another blank line, and then we do the data. So that's going to be da-da, 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 da-da. Oops. Like that. So that's going to be your 0, 1, 1, 0, 2. Okay. And so that's going to be the format of it. So that's our first one there. And then the next one, we want to get the file info. So we're going to do file info fi equals file info equals new file info file name, and then we're going to do write string ms comma file info dot length dot to string plus that there okay, so that is basically signaling that the /r/n/r/n, which is return new line twice, is going to signify the end of the array. And now what we want to do is we want to write the contents of a file into the array as well. So then we do bar file contents equals file dot read all bytes, file name, and then we do ms dot write file contents offset file contents dot length. Okay, and then we return that buffer back to there. Okay, so our file size is buffer dot length and our write result is going to be private void async result if result is complete, and then we need to do var client equals result dot state as TCP client, var bytes sent equals client dot end get stream end write result, of course. We end that there, and we close our client. So we do client dot close. Boom. Okay. So we don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. So we take the file name, the host name, the port. So that's where we're going to send it to. We then create a connection to it. We get the buffer information, then we write that buffer out, and then once it's complete, we end the write, close the stream, everything's good. And then create buffer is going to do just that. So it's going to create a buffer here. Using the memory stream, it's going to write that out, it's going to write that out, and then it's going to write the contents there. Okay. And then the way back, so that's going to be start transfer, and then we need to have one that's going to listen. So this is transfer file. We also need to make this public. We also need to wait for the file. And so what we need to do is we need to get, do we do everything in here? I think maybe we do everything in here. And we just, I think what we can do is we can do public, oh no, I don't want to do that. Transfer file, I think we have a receive file as well. So let's have a receive file. I mean, we could combine the two, but I'm not going to bother. Receive file. Public class receive file. And then for receive file, I'm going to borrow quite a bit from this. So I'm going to say public void public receive file TCP client. Well, TCP receive file, I need to wait for an incoming connection for this, and then I need to spin it off. So I need to do public receive file int port. Sure. Okay, let's do it this way for now. Private TCP listener. Listener. Read only. Private. Read only. Int port. Port equals port. Equals new TCP listener, and then we want to put that into port. So we're listening on there. Oh yeah, it doesn't like that. It's where's the other one? Oh yeah, local endpoint. IP endpoint. New IP endpoint. IP address dot any port. Okay, so then we do that endpoint, and then we do listener dot accept socket async, accept TCP client async. Nope. Start. Accept. Begin accept TCP client. That's the one. Client connected. Listener. Okay, so the client is connected. We want to be able to transfer the file. So that's going to happen here. Private void async result. If result dot is completed, we want to get bar listener result async state as TCP listener. Var client equals listener dot end accept TCP client result. And now we want to listen on there with that client. So we want to say client dot get stream begin read. And now we need to specify a buffer, an offset, a size, and a callback. Okay. We don't know what size that buffer is going to be, so we need to put that in somewhere. So I think we need to create, well, okay, let's assume we've only got one client just now. So I'm going to do private byte buffer new buffer new byte let's give it 64K. we'll see what happens. So we're going to do client dot get stream begin read buffer offset buffer dot length client received and then it's going to be client. Okay. And then we need to put this someplace as well. So I think what we can do is we should probably have a memory stream. Should we have a memory stream? Probably. Okay, let's just do a memory stream, because again it's going to be just one client just now. So private memory stream let's just call it MS new memory stream. Okay. And then I'm going to do private void client received async result. What do we got here? We've got we need to know the size that we're receiving, so we need to read the header. Okay, so that is gonna be, we're gonna assume that we get in the full size to start with, and if we don't, we need to rethink it. Okay, so if result dot is completed, so in other words this operation is completed. In other words, now what that means though is it could mean that we've received all the data that we need to receive, or it could mean that we've filled that buffer. So if we filled the buffer, that means we know we'll get more data. If we haven't filled the buffer and it's complete, that means that we don't need to read any more. So we can say if actually it's going to be var bytes received equals we need to do var client equals result dot async state as TCP client client get stream and read result. Now if we detect that the buffer is less than the length, the bytes received is less than the length, that means we're done. So if bytes received is less than buffer dot length, actually let's do, we haven't received the header yet, so let's go back to private bool received or processed header. So if we've not processed the header, we need to do that. Processed header equals true. So there. So we say if not processed header, and the process header we're going to read in the string. So we need to find out where in the array the end of the header is. And the way we can do that is we can say private void, this is going to be string get header, and then we're going to pass in byte buffer, and then we're going to find inside the string where the, if I go back to the transfer file here, where this part of basically this part here is. And once we find that, that means we know where the end of the header is, which means we can parse the header quite easily. So I'm going to do for int I equals 0, I less than buffer minus length minus 4 I plus plus. So we want to check the 4 position. We want to check the 4 characters, the /r/n/r/n. So I want to say char equals buffer I, buffer I plus 1. Oh, byte, okay. Actually, it's going to be char. Not there, and then we do char 3 equals char I plus 2, and then it's going to be 3, 4. So if ch1 equals /r and ch2 equals /n, you could probably do this with a regex, but my regex is pitiful, so I'm just going to do it this way. If you're going to do it with regex and you want to leave a comment below, just do so. That would be great, and it will save lots and lots of time for other people. So c3 equals that, and c4 equals that. Then I need to process the let's do var point pause equals -1, pause equals c I plus 3 break. If pause is greater than 0, then I want to get the substring of that buffer. So I want to say var header equals, actually it's going to be var raw equals encoding dot ASCII dot get string, and then I can pass in the bytes, which is the buffer, and then the size, which is index is 0, and then the count is going to be pause, and then I can say var split equals raw dot split dot to char array, and then ignore string split, remove empty entries, return split. Otherwise I'm going to return null. So okay, just to recap here, so get header, what this is going to do is it's going to find the /r/n/r/n position. It's then going to take a note of that position. and then we're going to use this get raw thing, and then we're going to split that back out, and then that is going to return that position there. But actually what I think I want it to do is get header size, and then I want it to return pause there. Okay, so I want to get the header size, so I want to say var header size equals get header size, buffer size is greater than 0. Now what I want to do is I want to take that buffer header size, that there, and now I can say var file name equals split 0, var length equals split 1. I can do int long.parse that, because going back to the transfer file, our first line is myfile.txt and the second line is the length. So now if is that actually that's going to be file name, and then that's going to be length. So I'm going to say private string file name, private long length. Now let's do. So now I want to copy the remainder of the bytes into here. Oh yeah, I want to have processed header true. That there. Okay. So now that we've done that, I want to process the remainder of it out. So I want to say the bytes received is that there, but I want to remove the header from that. So I'm going to say var length of data equals, and it's going to be bytes received minus the length of the header, because we're ignoring everything from the header. And then we want to copy those bytes into the memory stream. So we're going to do memory stream dot write, and it's going to be buffer, and then the offset is going to be header size plus 1, and then the count is going to be length of data. Okay. Right. So if we've not processed the header, we do that. Otherwise, what we want to do is we want to write the buffer to there. Okay. So length of data is that. So length is that. Okay. So so we want to say if length if length if ms dot length is less than length, we want to copy those in there, but we want to do that as an else if. So if the memory stream, so if the length of the memory stream is less than the length that we get from here, we want to keep adding those values. So we want to say we want to copy those in there. So we want to say ms.write, and then it's going to be buffer, and then the offset is going to be 0, and then the count is going to be bytes received. Okay, and then at the very end here, we want to say if ms.length is still less than length, we want to go around again. So the way we do that is we just want to do this. So we want to begin read. We want to do that for the buffer, but we also want to do array.clear. So I do array clear, and then that's going to be the array, which is me a buffer. Index 0, buffer length, and that'll clear everything in the array, so we don't need to start again. Else, we're done. Okay, so we want to close the connection. So we want to say client.close, and then we want to process the file. So we want to say file.write all bytes, file name, and then ms.toArray. Close the current stream, release any resources. Instead of calling this method, ensure the stream is properly disposed. Okay. Dispose. No. Okay, let's do that there, and then let's not have that there. And then new memory stream. Okay. So only create that when the client gets added to it. So that's our client received. So if we haven't processed the header, process the header, and then add the remaining data add the remaining data to there, and if that's still shy of the amount of data that's to be received, it's going to end up going in here. Otherwise we close it and we send off that file there. And then this one here is bytes received. So if the length is still less than that, then we want to do that there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set this up so that this other computer over here is going to send data to this one. So we're just going to make sure that we've done everything okay here. So everything seems to be succeeded. So for this one, I'm going to create another project. Add new project, and this is going to be a console application again, and then this one's going to be called receive file. Next. Console app.net. I keep doing that. Console app.net framework next. Receive file. Create. Okay. And so receive file is just going to wait for a file to be received. So we're going to do var receive file equals new receive file. Then the port is going to be 54,000. Receive file dot. Oh, did I not start that? Oh, it just starts. Oh, I can't have that. That's not right. Let's do that. Public void listen. Okay, let's do that. Oh yeah, we can't have that there now. So that's got to be there. Okay, get rid of that. That. Tidy things up a bit. Then we go back to here and then we do receive file.listen. Okay. And get rid of all of these. Okay, and then we're going to have send file as well. So we're going to do add new project .NET framework next. Send file. And then we're going to do create, and send file is going to be very basic. It's going to be var hostname equals args0, var file equals args1, because I'm not going to do any parsing here. This is just to test things. We're just testing these pieces so we can build them up later on. That's kind of what the part of this project's about, or the reason why we're doing this part of the reason why we're doing this project this way. Var transfer file equals new transfer file, and then we specify the file name, the host name, and we don't need the port. Transfer file dot send or start. That's what I called it, start, and that should be it. Okay. All right. So now, if I go into here, get status, get add star.sln. What? Get add. Oh, it's because I'm way too high up. Get add star.cs, get add star.cs proj, get add star.sln, status, I don't want that one. Definitely don't want that one either. Oh, get restore. Okay, and then this other one here, I don't want this one either. Properties. Okay, and I don't want anything. I do want app config. Git add app.config. I don't want any of those bins and objects. I need to do by ignore. Oh, did I only do that in there? Ah, damn it. Okay. I need to do it in here, don't I? So receive, where are we? We're going to wait for it. I need to git ignore. and send file and receive file. Okay. Receive file dot get ignore. Send file dot get ignore. Send and receive files. Okay. So that is everything done, and now I need to put it on the other machine. So what we've got here is, and I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put this, but I have my other machine running wait for it, and I'm going to call send it here, and that's just going to kind of show where those, like, you can do this across the network. So I'm going to run it on this machine now, so I'm going to type in wait for it .exe, and it's going to run there. And of course, because this is I've never run this on here, it's going to make me do that. So I'm going to click on allow, and it's going to take a couple of seconds. So now that's running there, and now I'm going to run send it here, and that is going to appear over there. And you can see now that this is now the problem I had before was I wasn't able to send it on the same machine because I had to change the ports, which I don't want to do because I want everything to run off of port, whatever we call it, 54,000. So you can only have one instance running on a PC at any time, and that's kind of what I want. So yeah, like I said, over here we've got hello from this IP address here. So if I do IP config, you'll see that this is our local IP address here. So everything's working, it's all good, it's exactly what I wanted it to be, so it's handy. And the way to do that on the other machine is I do git fetch git pull. Nope, that's not right. Git fetch. Oh, I never pushed, that's why. Push. Okay. Git fetch. There we go. Git pull. Boom. Okay. So we go back to our this one here. Reload. So we should now have all those ones in there. So I'm going to rebuild this. Okay, build succeeded. So I'm going to go back to our file in here, and we're going to go to send file, then cd debug, and I'm going to do start this. And then I'm going to have a file called hello world, because, you know, why not? Hello world. Okay. And I'm just going to call it hello world. This is the hello world message. Oops, wrong one. What the heck is that? Save that. Close it. Okay, so that is... if I do hello world is 45 bytes, so it's well within that limit there. So if we go back to this machine here, and then I do receive file, ls, cd bin, cd debug, receive file. I should get the warning. I do, so I'm going to click on allow access. And then for this one here, I'm going to use the IP address that we already established from the other one, which if I, where are we? If I do a new tab, new console dialog, where's that? Current folder. Okay, so if I do this, which is 192, send file, and then it's the host name, which is 192.168.1.187, and then this is going to be hello world.txt, and then I go back to, actually I don't need to go back to here because this is going to be, oh, receive file just stopped. Oh, well, that's not good. It should listen. What? Oh, that's why. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, that's okay, because I just need to do while true thread.sleep. Okay, because this is the command line, it just immediately exits after that, which is not great. Save file. Okay. What? Build. Okay, there we go. Whew. Okay, so that's going to send that there. I've got this other window open here because I want to do cd projects, cd network central, network share up, cd receive, cd bin. Okay. Alright, so we don't have anything in there just now, so I'm going to send this file across here, and this will pop up a message saying I need to send it across, or has it? So the big truth is, if I do dir just now, will it say hello world? There it is there. Start hello world.txt. Boom, there you go. This is the hello world message. And that's it. That's those files transferred across. So it's working. We need to debug it. I don't know why it says 46 here and it is 45 over there. We're gonna have to figure that out. My guess is that it is putting in an extra character somewhere. But we can debug that later on. But yeah, that is, whew, all right, this is coming together. So this one here should still be receiving files, which means we should be able to send another file over. So if I do touch another, let's just call it another.txt, and then I do vi another.txt. This is another file, and then I do send, what was the one I did? Send file, and then this will be another. Will this work? Will it do 2 in a row? Well, we'll see. This could be a complete epic fail. This is why we don't do live tests, but it did seem to send it. So let's see if that is received over here. No, it didn't. Well, that's for the next video. But yeah, that's what we've got so far. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It's part of a series of videos where I create a simple file transfer application for the Windows operating system, so Windows 10, so on. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share. It really, really does help the channel. And if you want timely reminders of when another part of this series, or anytime I post up a video up, then please hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and YouTube will work its magic and give you a notification when one of those videos goes up. But yeah, thank you so much again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.